Hey, what's up, everybody? So, about AMC, right? Somebody from the community had left a comment questioning um, how we're going to get to those figures that I posted, right? But with Q4, right? With them not really having great movies out or whatnot. Yep, that was a great observation by him, and it got me. It was part of my research, so I hadn't done all the research that I wanted to prior to making that video. I did a fair amount, but I was still kind of deep diving into all the things. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's snowing here. It was 57 degrees earlier. Now look at us, man. This is ridiculous, right? So anyway, um, so what was it? Q3 of 2023, right? We had, I think it was like Barbie, and we had Thor, and we had Mario or something like that. It was just bangers, right? So that's how AMC was able to get their $1.4 billion in revenue, which was absolutely insane. They crushed it, right? I think that was a record for them, and it didn't really move the needle so much as far as the stock goes. Now, going into Q4, significantly pretty much less as far as like gross, as far as like the movies go. There were no real bangers that came out that could touch those four. I probably want to say Thor, Mario, Barbie, something else. I forgot. It was a couple other things. Maybe Avatar. Yeah, all those things got released. But anyway, so the question is, how does AMC make up for it? Like, obviously, no one really thinks that they're going to hit the same revenue target as they did before, the 1.4 billion. That was insane. But one thing we do know is that they've made adjustments as far as their concessions, and they raised prices of tickets, things of that nature, right? They've done partnerships. They're doing things with esports and UFC and live events and stuff like that. They're talking about partnerships with other movie companies like Sony or whatnot, right? So they're trying to get exclusive content brought into the theaters. So all these things are positives, but we don't know the effect on the business, right? So the main thing I'm looking for is a significant decrease in their debt. So, I mean, as far as lowering their debt is a huge piece of the puzzle for me, as well as for guidance and any partnerships that might come from that. I fully suspect that the revenue sales for concessions is going to be pretty solid. Probably still not up to what Q3 levels were, just because of the content that was put out, but nonetheless, I think it's still going to be pretty good. Their EPS is negative 0.57. I do think that they could beat that. I think that's a little soft, but time will tell, right? I said that those numbers that I put out in my last video was for August of 2024, right? Well, for this earnings, right, I'm suspecting there to be a slight pullback, and then we'll start to see more of a solid like uptrend come March 5th is what I have. And I'll show you that on the chart. And why I say March 5th is because when I'm looking outside of the fundamentals, I start looking at the technicals, right? And I start looking for patterns in, as far as how the stock moves. And essentially every 18 days or so, or 18 bars on the day chart, you see like a consolidation, and then you see a pretty big size up. So right now we hit a bottom. Now we showed a higher high, and we have a higher high right at $4.49 or something like that, right? I know it's not much, but coming from $3 and some change to $4.40, like that's a buck, right? So we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. So we're waiting for one more pullback, and as long as that's a higher low and the earnings are in line, but the debt is significantly lower, and the forward guidance with partnerships and their subscription service with AMC, as long as those things are good, I have pretty good high hopes for AMC. Now, again, this is not a fundamentally sound company, right? I mean, on the paper, it's not looking great, but I can't foresee a world without AMC. That's just like, I hate to compare it to a business like Disney or a business like Nvidia, like I did before, where, yeah, they're overvalued, but their fundamentals are fucking solid, right? But I can't help it. I mean, it is what it is. AMC traded at over $100 at some point, maybe over $200. I got to double check the charts, but I think in time it can get there. So right now, I am playing it safe. I do have a position with AMC. I do have contracts with AMC as far as options. I do expect a pullback to maybe the $4 mark. I'll double check the charts after this video. This part, we'll transition into the charts and see what it looks like. Okay. And then, yeah, go from there. Outside of this video, I do plan on making another one on SoFi. Just so you know, I did increase my position before close. There's two things I want to talk about with SoFi. One, and the main one is it's this short interest. Same with AMC. So let's kick it back to AMC. The short interest on AMC. Short interest on AMC is like I think it's like 11% roughly, right? And then, but the days to cover is under 2 days, so it's like 1.8 for days to cover. Now, if you know about short interest, the lower the days to cover, that's a sign of a reduction in selling pressure, right? That doesn't mean necessarily that the stock is going to rocket. What that does indicate that the sellers or the bears have slowed down their the downward pressure. So now all eyes are on the earnings. So we'll see what happens, right? That's about the only thing right now that I can see that's giving me some type of like strong positivity as far as where it could go, as well as the charts. Okay, so outside of that, I think we'll stop from there, and then I will do some more. I have my research, but I will make another video about what I think is like the partnerships that they might be looking at, and some of the things that they could do or say to mean to show like some positive for guidance for AMC. Okay, yeah, let's go on to the charts. All right, everybody. So like I said, let's get right into the technicals. All right. So on the chart, right, I'm doing this for my phone, so you probably don't get the best visual. But what I did is I looked all the way back from the beginning of AMC. And actually, I started from the week out. And I have my levels, right? So I kind of know or have a good idea as far as how it's going to play out from a technical side of things. Okay, so anyway, that being said, let's zoom in to my 1 day. So as you can see, we had this huge, we had this huge drop, right, from $49 all the way down to pretty much it touched $3.56. All right, that's major, right? So but since then, one thing I noticed is that since we've fallen to this bottom, we've had an increase in volume, okay? And then we've established a higher high, and as of right now, a higher low. And then right here, we're looking at the volume profile, and this is our POC, point of control, right? If we're above the point of control, that's typically a representation of a bullish move, okay? Now, outside of that, pretty much if we can stay above 442, I think we're pretty solid. And that's where I actually think that we might pull back to. but time will tell. Okay, this golden line that I have right here of March 5th is where I think we see the next leg up for AMC. Now, that's a hypothesis based on movement over time for AMC after it's gone through a consolidation period. It may or may not happen, and of course, that's well after the earnings on February 28th. So, mark your calendars, I suppose, for that, and do your own due diligence, and we'll see what happens. But I'm probably only going to I'm not telling you what I'm going to put in there. I'm only going to tell you that I'm not going to put in more than I'm willing to lose. And if I have shares of AMC, I'm holding it for the long term. If it falls below the $3.56, I'm cutting my losses. I'm just going to take the L because I have no idea where it's going from there. It's at a free fall, right? So outside of that, this is Stocks for Real. Take care.